You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
And now it's time to talk to our first guest, Peter Apps, a local writer. He's going to be talking all about his latest book. Peter, it's good to speak to you again.
Nice to see you again.
Now, although we spoke to you a while ago about your last book, I was wondering if you could give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself, firstly, as a writer.
Well, I've lived on Sheppey all my life, and I started writing about 5 years ago. I was watching an action film, and I was getting so bored trying to guess which was the next cliche coming up. I thought, well, I can do better than this, so I thought I'd have a go.
Now, your latest book's coming out, so I was wondering if you can give us a bit of an introduction, what it's all about, Peter.
Yeah, it's a science fiction story. It involves time travel, space travel, and so on. But the main character, Stuart, he develops an interest in Captain Cook and tries to go back to meet him. His friends worry that he might get press-ganged into the 18th century Navy, but that would have been the least of his problems, the way the story develops.
Peter, when is the main launch?
Well, that's sharing the castle connections with this 365 exhibition.
OK.
So it's all part of the Dickens Promenade, and it's on 23rd September. We start at 2 p.m, so anyone wants to come along, they'd be very welcome.
So, Peter, is the book easy to understand?
Yes. You can't really deal with time travel or space travel without having a bit of imaginary science. But for me, it's the interaction with the characters, dealing with strangers, prejudices and attitudes. So I think most people could enjoy it. If you don't like the science, well, there's not that much of it. You can easily skip it.
So there's still a good story to it, even if you're not into the science?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Now, Peter, I understand that meeting people is very important to you.
Obviously I want to push the book nationally and internationally, but that's all over the internet, and you never actually get to meet people. The book was actually printed by Orbital Print over in Sittingbourne, and I got to meet the people over there, and we were able to talk. When I go to the pub, people are interested, they want to talk about it, and it's nice having the feedback.
Now, you mentioned the characters a little bit, but I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a little bit more about them, Peter.
Well, I try to avoid the macho hero types, and in most ways, both the characters are very ordinary. They've got a relationship that a lot of people might disapprove of, but I think it works. The nicest thing is when someone comes up to me and says, got this problem, I wonder what Brian would do, or I wonder what Stuart would do. Because it means they're relating to the characters, and I've done what I wanted to do and made them real.
Now, I understand that this book, I think we mentioned it briefly, is a sequel to your last book, Peter.
Well, you're hearing it first on this station, but with luck it's going to be the second book of a trilogy, and the third book will be coming out in about 18 months' time. So yes, it's a sequel, and as I say, there's a third one on its way.
Yeah, which is good to hear, Peter. And Peter, before you go, I was just wondering if you could, of course, let our listeners refresh them with the name of the book and when it's launching, and anything else you'd like to cover, really. Right.
Well, the book is called Time Askew. It's due out on the 23rd of September officially, but at the moment, if anyone likes to email me, I'll be quite happy to sell them a signed copy. If our listeners would like a signed copy, you said they can email you. I was wondering if you could let us know what your email address is. And I think also you've got a website as well. Yeah. Well, the website is timeaskew.co.uk. My email address is peter@sjtales.co.uk. I've also got a website, SJ Tales, so between the two, it's fairly easy to find.
Well, Peter, I'd like to thank you very much this evening for coming along and telling us all about your latest book, especially as you come here a few months ago and told us about the first edition. So to come along and tell us about your second book, it's been really good to have you here.
Well, it's been a pleasure to be here.
That's Peter Apps here at the Monday Night Community Show, telling us all about his latest book this evening.